D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And have I got a story for you? Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can read them, and come up with your own opinion, or just listen to this video where I break them all down for you. Then you just go about your way, and I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So why don't we go ahead and get started? It started out with on Twitter with a scoop from My Time to Shine Hello. And he put up this tweet where it said, Emilia Clark is playing Veranke. And he's talking about the new Invasion show. And it was later then confirmed by YouTuber Grace Randolph that Emilia Clark is playing Veranke. So in the MCU, she is Talos's daughter. And you may remember her from Captain Marvel, and then we never knew her name in that movie. But it was like we always kind of knew maybe that she would become the Skrull Queen. And I'll talk about that just a tiny bit more later on. But so who is she in the comic books? Now, Veranke is the queen of the Skrull Empire. She becomes the queen of the Skrull, who served as the primary villain of the 2008 crossover Secret Invasion. Now, if you read that comic book, okay, so Veranke, basically she was like thrown on it's not basically, she was thrown on a prison planet by the Emperor at that time. I'm going to pull all these out and read it before that show comes out. And then she, became, kind of like religious or whatever. And she became the Skrull Queen. She then led the Secret Invasion and everything. And so we'll talk about that in just 2 seconds. And a lot of people thought she would be Abigail Brand in this show. Now, I personally don't like Abigail Brand, the character in the comic books, so I'm glad that they didn't make her that character. But if they had, I'd be fine with it because it's like whatever. Now, she did pretend to be Jessica Drew, and then when it was revealed that she was the Skrull Queen, you're all like, "What?" And I think that that's one of the best parts about the Secret Invasion is it's like a who's who, and when it's revealed, and I won't reveal any of them to you. But I'm gonna have to tell you right now, that was just one of my favorite series in all of Marvel. The Infinity Gauntlet series is my favorite by far, but the Invasion, Secret Invasion, was so good. Like there's one character, I remember when it was revealed that they were a Skrull, I was like, shut your face. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like it sounds like this show, which I'll talk about just a little bit more later, but it sounds like this show isn't going to be like a big who's who kind of game, like a Where's Waldo, but who's a Skrull, where's the Skrull. It sounds like it's just going to be like a father-daughter, or like a Nick Fury and Talos series, but with like Talos's daughter thrown in the mix and everything. So it'll be interesting seeing where they go through. Now, in the comic books, it was that the Skrull, they wanted to take over the Earth or whatever, to do that, they position themselves by shapeshifting into important people and as superheroes. And then when you go through the issues, there you try to figure, like I said before, you try to figure out who's a Skrull and who's not a Skrull. And they did this in what I thought was a very smart way. I'm kind of giving one away, but it's not like a huge reveal as far as, a who's who, but in the comic book. So they go, and I'm going to use Elektra because that's how they find out that they dig up Elektra's body. Now, if you ever read the comic books or if you saw the movie, Elektra is killed with her own sai by Bullseye in the comic books. And then if you ever know, in comic books, when a character dies, they never really die. They just die, but then they come back, later on. So in the comic books, the way they explain this through the Secret Invasion was when Elektra gets killed with her own sai, it wasn't Elektra that died. It was a Skrull. The Skrull died, and then it shapeshifted back into a Skrull after the Skrull Elektra had died. And they buried Elektra and then shapeshift back into a Skrull. And I was like, that is so clever. That is so clever and everything. I can't remember the writer of it, but that's such a clever way of doing things. And then they would keep the real superheroes. I'm kind of giving a little tiny bit away. They would keep the real superheroes up in space in like a spaceship or a space station. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember all of it. I got to pull that crap out. And they would just keep them cryogenically frozen. So all the real superheroes are up in space, cryogenically frozen, while the Skrull superheroes are here on Earth pretending to be them. It was so good and interesting. I just really I really enjoyed it, and you will too if you ever get a chance to read. I suggest going and reading it. It's really good. But in the movie, it sounds like Veranke will be leading a small section or a faction of Skrulls that maybe want to take over the Earth. This is just my thoughts, because we got introduced to the Skrulls, and they're more like refugees trying to run from the Kree Empire, trying to just fight as best they can because they're overpowered and they're over weaponed and everything, and they're just trying to find. And then we saw them on Earth trying to get the other Skrulls so they can get away and start another Skrull civilization. So I'm thinking, it sounds like they're just a small kind of terrorist organization that maybe want to get back at the Kree for what they did to them. And they just kind of start here on Earth, maybe set up something here, or maybe, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do, but that's what it sounds like to me. Now, I think this all sounds fascinating, but like I said before, from what I got from the YouTuber Grace Randolph, was that it's going to be a smaller show. It's not going to be big in scope. It's just going to kind of set stuff up, which I kind of go, that's a bummer. I don't need a 6 episode. Sorry, my lips are very chapped. I don't need a 6 or 8. I think this is 6 episode, a 6 episode TV show for you to set up a Secret Invasion movie. So I think that I'll watch it, even though I have not liked the Marvel series up to this point. I mean, I did like Hawkeye. I take that back. I did like Hawkeye, but all the rest of them, I didn't like them. So I don't know how this show will turn out. It sounds like a big dud to me, the show, but the movie might be good, because if they don't reveal any superheroes as Skrull, then what's the point? I just think that would be, they should at least do one, like an end reveal, like last episode, a big reveal, like you're like, shut up, and kind of thing, because I just don't know how that's going to work out. All right, you guys, tell me, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about Emilia Clark playing Veranke in the new Secret Invasion show? Are you cool with this? Did you guess she was a Veranke, or are you one of those people that thought she was playing Abigail Brand? Did you read Secret Invasion, the comic book, and what did you think about it? It's so good. If you haven't read it, I cannot stress to you how much it's so good. I suggest going and buying it online if you can. Go to a comic book shop if they have it. Buy it there, please. Support your local comic book shops. If you are not a comic book reader, I promise you will like this story. I promise you will. It's so good. The mystery of it, it's so good. The mystery of it all, and then finding out who's a Skrull. And then there's one character. Well, there's a handful of characters, but there's one for me personally that when it was revealed, I was like, shut your face. I was like, oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. I just hit my mic. And I was just like, oh, that's so good. So good. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to finish it and everything. And then it leads on to other pretty interesting things in the comic book world, but I don't know if they'll do that on the TV shows and movies. So you guys, tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your guys' comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week. You guys have a good week. Bye.